Welcome in, everybody. Unfortunately, Taryn has passed away exactly a few seconds before recording. So, she's laughing. She can't stay
No,
dead.
I'm not.
I
Stop.
saw you moving. So much for convincing everybody you're dead.
Yeah, but you're like a few seconds before.
Yeah, she died a few. Yeah, I witnessed you pass away right there.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. Hey, we're both wearing white shirts. It's almost like we coordinated, but we
Yeah,
didn't.
We totally didn't.
No, that really sounds like
Maybe.
it makes it sound like we did, but like we actually really didn't
I
coordinate.
know, I said that to make it. we actually didn't. I am just kidding.
We're just that in tuned. We're that in tuned.
Twinning over here. I actually,
Well-
part of why I'm wearing this flannel is because I totally spilled stuff on my white shirt, so I have stains below this.
Oh
just
my
haven't-
goodness.
Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm good. I wanted to take the time to say welcome in, Logan, because I have manners and respect. So I just wanted to let you know that you're welcome here. You're welcomed in.
Welcome in, Darren. Except that I'm usually the one to say that. No, I feel as though from your tone,
I don't think you've
that's
ever welcomed
exactly why
me.
you're doing this.
I don't think you've ever welcomed me in our podcast.
I am sure that anybody who's listened
Sometimes.
to any of the other podcasts, hi mom,
Mrs. Mommy.
I will walk in and I go into my parents' living room and my mom has the podcast up on our TV. So,
Yes, number one supporter, day one.
number one fan. I had a request which I forgot to do, but maybe some other people in the audience would appreciate if we were to make a YouTube playlist with all of our episodes so that they can press play and just play through all of them. My brother requested that.
I don't know if we have the capabilities to do things like that, because when I post on YouTube, I used to link video our clips with other videos, and it won't let me anymore because it says we have to confirm that I'm a human, but I've already done that. I already did the thing, and that the whole reason I even did the thing was so I could link the videos, the shorts with the videos. And now it's all backwards, and it says that we still haven't done that. And I'm like, well, then what was the point of me sending you my ID?
We've had nothing but problems with this Google account. They really don't want you to create one and then immediately start making content or something. I don't know. It's very weird.
They hate us.
We got
Confirmed.
banned after our first episode, and then they restored it.
We
because
did.
they
That was
thought we were a
crazy.
bot. Yeah, they thought we were scammers.
Yeah.
Taryn kept sending emails to all of my family members pretending to be a Nigerian prince asking for money.
Pretending.
Which was a joke. Well, no, you said it was a joke. So, I mean, my grandparents gave you $10,000, but it's all for the bit. So I'm okay with it, you know?
Yeah. It is all for the bit. And the bit got me a new car.
Great.
The bit got me a home.
Very reasonable car,
So,
yeah. A
yeah.
home? You're willing to get a
home.
home and a car for $10,000?
Well, it wasn't just your grandparents that I scammed. Scammed your brother.
No. Okay, that
Scammed your
seems
best
unlikely.
friend.
Also seems unlikely.
Well, it wasn't. It's likely because who's the one with a big house and this room is within a house.
Oh, okay. It looks exactly the same as your room.
Wait, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant to say.
Yeah,
This apartment that
rooms
I'm living in
often
is
are
within a
inside.
house.
Yes, rooms often are inside homes.
Yeah, well, this whole apartment is inside my big ass mansion. My apartment complex that I used to live in before I was rich, I had a work company just take they use this big machine that has a prong and a prong, and they just inserted. They went shink, and it took the top of my apartment and the bottom of my apartment, and they just slid it out like a piece of cake. And so my apartment complex is just missing this big square that used to be
Gotcha.
my apartment, so that it could be inserted into my new mansion.
This is sounding more realistic as it goes on, so I think I'm starting to believe you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
It-
no, please, after you. Go ahead.
No. Whatever you want to say, I was just going to creatively segue to my coffee.
Please. Yes.
Do you want to
go
hear?
right
Do you want to
ahead.
hear what it was?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe my imagination's so vivid because I'm drinking shrooms. Not real
That's a good one.
shrooms. Well, actually, real shrooms. They're mushrooms,
They are real,
but they're not the.
mushrooms.
They're not the like. You know, they're
Magic
the one.
mushrooms. They're not.
Yeah,
Psychedelic. They're not hallucinogenic
Yeah.
mushrooms.
yeah. They're not magic mushrooms. They're wizard mushrooms.
Oh, cool! Magical powers.
But yeah, I'm drinking Ryzen. Not sponsored, but could be.
But let us know.
It's
Not against
Ryzen
it.
coffee. It has like shiitake, mushroom. Nope, obviously mushroom. Lion's mane.
Yeah.
And like 4 other mushrooms that I can't remember the name of because I'd never heard of them until I started drinking them. But it's supposed to be really good for you, and it's organic.
Does it have caffeine in it?
Yes.
Okay. Good mushroomy
It's the
burp
mushrooms
right there for
talking.
everybody. Yeah,
But yeah, you can make it like iced. It's a powder. It comes in a powder, so you can do it iced. You can do it hot. The first day I did it iced because I thought it would taste gross hot, and then I made another cup of coffee for my coconut oil because I consume coconut oil every day too. But then I just tried it hot, and now I just drink 1 cup again, and I just put the coconut oil in with the mushroom powder, and it's actually really good. Like, probably better than my regular coffee.
That's awesome. I've heard some people swap over to this or other ones like it, and they seem to really like it. What made you start doing it? Because this is the first I'm hearing about it. Besides when you... Sorry, go ahead.
It's a bit cringe. I was literally just scrolling Instagram, and I got an ad. And they were like,
Listen.
oh, it's so good for your brain, and it helps promote, like, good sleep when you end up going to sleep. And that really confused me because I was like, well, this is coffee, so...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I'm yawning.
Oh, there you go. It's working. It's working.
It is. Promotion. See, Ryzen, I would be a good person to sponsor right here because
Living proof
I have
that your
placebo
product
effect.
works. Well, or you don't tell them that it's a placebo or their product isn't working.
Well, there's no way
just
that it kicks in
imaginary.
that fast.
No, you're right.
Like,
You're probably just yawning for other
placeboing.
purposes. There you go. So is that the thing? Is that the thing from your week that you wanted to mention? Or did you have like something else? Oh, okay. That was just an aside.
I had something big happen. My outlets wouldn't work
Oh
in my
gosh,
freaking
that's
apartment.
right.
Yeah.
It got fixed, obviously, because you're at your desk. Can you... What was...
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to tell the story and then give me the big reveal of what it actually was?
I don't know if I should reveal it. It's pretty cringe.
Was it exactly what I said it was?
No, actually, you were wrong.
Oh, I was? Oh, okay.
But what
now
you
I'm
had
really
to work
curious.
with, what you had to work with, it makes sense that you didn't just assume. Because you even suggested, and I was like, no, I already did that.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
It was.
Oh, my gosh. No, it wasn't. All right,
It was,
tell the story.
okay? It was.
Tell the story.
So, Thursday, I'm freaking just, minding my own business, getting ready for stream, and freaking my light, like I have a lamp. I have a lamp in here and I have a lamp in my room, like my bedroom. And I try not to use the overhead lights because when I bought those lamps at IKEA, they were like, oh, you'll pay less for energy or whatever. And so I was like, sick. I'm a cheapskate, so this works out. So that's the light I had on in my room, but I did have my regular light on in my bathroom because that's where I was in. But I saw the light just go out in my room. So the bathroom that I was in is connected to my room. So like the door was open, the lights just went out, and I was like, "What the?" But then the bathroom light was still on, so I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like the power semi went out, and so then I come into my streaming room immediately. Like, I didn't even try and turn my overhead light on in my room. I just came in here immediately. This lamp was off. My refrigerator was off. And then my Christmas tree, I plugged it back in. And it wouldn't it wouldn't turn on. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, what happened? And then I came and I turned my PC on. Nothing. It didn't turn on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, bruh, what is going on? I've lost power in only parts of my apartment. This makes no sense.
Mm-hmm. It was.
That's right.
Yesterday.
That doesn't make sense. So then I found out, like, more deep diving. It was actually just the outlets. Like, most of my outlets weren't working, which was weird because my kitchen counter, like my island on my kitchen counter, those outlets were working. And then the one in my bathroom where I started out, that one worked. But none of my other outlets would work. And I was like, this is so strange. But yeah, I went and I checked the breaker box immediately. And I didn't see anything wrong. All the switches were just fine. And I was like, what the heck? So then eventually I called Logan. And I was like, maintenance man, help me. And then we went around my apartment trying to figure out the button pressing of my outlets, which I had no idea my outlets even had buttons.
The GFCI, I think, unless I'm
yeah, those two. And yeah, they didn't work. Like, they didn't make anything happen. And so I went all day. I did deep cleaning. I just hung out. I missed a day of streaming. And I was like, I hate my life. This is the worst. Sigh. And then around like midnight, I went back into the room that has the breaker box.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, it's like a really curious thing.
Oh, no.
It's just like so funny. It was like someone flipped the switch after I had looked at the breaker box. Mm. And so it was just so silly, like it was unflipped, but magically, I think because you know how people say like turn it off and on again? Kind of like that, like someone went and flipped it, obviously, because I would have noticed if the first time around if something was wrong, but someone obviously snuck into my apartment, flipped it for me just to turn it off so I could at least turn it back on and feel like I fixed something, and then that's how everything worked again.
You know, I have a equally as realistic explanation for about how that happened. It was probably leprechauns. We're coming up into that season.
It was March.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, I'm pretty sure that just as truthfully as you said that it totally wasn't there before, I think it's leprechauns.
I absolutely believe it. I do also have Lucky Charms sitting on top of my fridge.
It's not
no, I know.
at all. Yeah.
My goodness. Maybe I shouldn't be carrying Lucky Charms.
Would they think Lucky Charms were racist or really cool?
What do you mean if?
Have you asked a very real leprechaun whether they think Lucky Charms are racist towards their kind?
Oh my gosh, Logan, are you stupid? Like, you genuinely can't just talk to a leprechaun.
Well, you just go to the bottom of a rainbow, right?
No, but like they have invisibility. They don't just show themselves to humans.
Oh, really? I guess I am stupid because I didn't know that.
Oh, seriously, this is really embarrassing.
Fact. Yeah, wow.
I'd be heavily embarrassed.
To wrap up the story, it was the breaker.
Yeah, more or less.
The thing is, in your defense, when they
I was stressed.
Yeah, you were stressed. Yep. When they trip, it doesn't look all that different than when they're just normal. Like I go through and I like push them all to see if anyone is like a little bit off from being like a little bit offset from being fully on. So it's not like super obvious when the breaker is tripped.
Yeah.
Okay, was it more obvious on your box?
No. I just know that you're trying to make me feel better about the situation.
True. I'm not just trying to make you feel better. Anybody who's messed with that before, it's true. And often I'll just flip on and off the breaker that the issue is arising in. Be like, okay, well, even if I can't totally tell if it's tripped, I'll just do it, and then if it fixes it, you know what's going on. So, yeah, No, I think that was a very reasonable mistake. I'm glad it fixed, and
Thank
I'm glad
you.
it wasn't one of the outlets because we did go through and find probably most of them, if not all of them, in your apartment. And now you know that those exist. So if some sort of power surge happens or whatever, and those strip, now you know what to do with that. So that might save you one day.
True.
Cool.
What about your week? Anything eventful?
Yeah.
Spicy?
So, as many of you know, I am a certified personal trainer, which really just for me means that I will train people if they come to me and want training. I'll even do online training.
Well, if they what to you?
If they
That's inappropriate.
approach me wanting training. But I mention that because it also means that I got that certification because I work out a lot, and I kind of overdid it this week. So PSA, as you work out, there is you accumulate what's called systemic fatigue. Everything okay over there? I just saw you go like.
Yeah, no, I was just, sometimes you see something like one of those like skinwalkers just like from the corner of your eye, and you just gotta check on it.
Yeah. Remember to take your schizophrenic medication.
No, it's okay. I'm
Don't listen
drinking
to the voices.
shrooms.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, right. You're right. That makes sense. Again, all jokes. If that company wants to sponsor us, though,
Yeah, I don't do drugs.
they're not hallucinogenic.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah,
just
that's
the
not what I
rise in
was
brown.
thinking, but yes.
Oh,
No, it's not the Ryzen.
well, I don't do drugs, so
That's
it was still a valid statement.
Yeah. All right.
What?
Okay.
Pussy poppin' queen.
What? How does that relate to what's
Continue
going
on, skanky cum dumpster. It's
Oh
time.
my gosh. Okay, I want to talk about that too. I think we talked about this last week. Every time I answer the phone, she has some new name for me.
I need to start writing these down too, because sometimes I come up with a banger and then I forget.
Yeah, we should start writing them down. Yep, that's good. Yeah, I will make
Oh
sure
my
to get right on
gosh.
that.
And then we could like eventually over the years make a shirt that has every single name I've ever called you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, or like a
shirt I could
pillow.
never wear. A pillow that might work.
Yeah, probably not. A blanket.
Okay. Well, I'm not against this. We could you could sell it on your merch store.
Oh, it'd
Oh,
have to
maybe
be
you
if I have
couldn't.
my own merch store, like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm producing it myself, because I think that goes against their like terms of service.
Probably does. Okay, so as you work out, like they're these like, like big macho. I'm gonna go to the gym every day, twice a day for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Taryn. Oh wow, put those guns away. You're gonna have to get a license for those or something.
Pew pew.
Pew pew. Exactly. Keep getting distracted. So
Sorry.
no, it's fine. That is a terrible, in my opinion. Unless you're doing very gentle workouts, that is a terrible idea, because as you work out, you accumulate. If you're pushing yourself adequately, you are accumulating systemic fatigue. So if you are pushing yourself and making progress, you accumulate systemic fatigue. And you need to deload in between training cycles. So no, not unload, not like come everywhere. She's just,
Deload.
She's laughing.
The dick's load.
No, I think that's. I know what you're saying, but it just feels a little bit like a stretch. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. If there was another word, I would use it.
Stretch that
What? I'm not even gonna. Don't even explain it to me. I'm gonna continue with what I'm saying. So, so if you are pushing yourself adequately, you have to take, and because if you're pushing yourself adequately, you're making consistent progress. Which, Sarah's still laughing over here. which means you are accumulating systemic fatigue. She's got a case of the giggles for the audio listener. Okay,
All right,
okay,
keep
get
going.
him out, get him out.
No, I'm still listening. Systemic fatigue.
This is more, yes. And if you don't deload, your body starts to you get joint pain. You feel just kind of like physically very tired. And so I'm at the end of a mesocycle, and her cheeks are blown up. Right? What is so funny?
I just don't understand why you would use the term deload again.
Because
like,
that's the term.
It's like you're trying. It's like you're trying to break me down.
Deload.
Like, there's gotta be another term. Like, just rest. No? You gotta rest. What is this
rest is
deload?
slightly different. Deload is like you're still training, but you're just, the volume's lower.
Oh, okay.
Or you can just, I guess, resting completely. All right, for your sake, I will use a different word. So after a lot of training, you have to unload your balls. Is that better?
Oh, much better. That makes more
Okay.
sense, too.
Great. And actually, though, on that point, relaxation is really good for gains. If you're stressed, it's gonna not kill your gains. That's kind of a hyped up phrase, but it can definitely affect your gains if you are permanently stressed. So, doing it's a great way to relieve stress. Could help your gains, guys. But you're probably working
Wait,
out.
is this why I don't look like Kim K? Ain't no
Because
way.
you're stressed?
You're telling me that I just need to hire someone? That's
So,
prostitution.
what are we talking about? Yeah, I was gonna say.
You
So
said
we're
doing
going down
it.
the road here.
Like
the
P and the V?
Yeah, doing it. Intercourse, coitus.
Yeah. Yeah, the wet slip and slide. I'm just saying that this is why I don't look like Kim K.
We can go over your training plan at a later time if you'd like. Find some ways to help you out. Now it just
He's not referring to sex.
I am not. For the record, I am not. Everything I say is just gonna sound wrong.
That was just such bad timing. We'll figure out a plan for you.
Timing. I want to cut that out.
No, keep it in. Keep it in.
Phrasing, Logan.
Keep it
Phrasing.
in. Everyone
until
knows
I
that
stop
that's not
phrasing.
what Logan meant. It's just hilarious.
Yep. All right. Okay, so
Look, my puss.
don't say that.
What? Do you not see her?
Yes, your cat. Your actual cat. I have Maui's on my
Meow.
lap, by the way. Look at that cutie. That's Snips back there. Snips is so cute.
Yeah, she's being a bitch. She's
wanted to
not.
attack
She's
your
just
foot?
facing the wall. Yeah, she attacked my foot.
Okay.
Literally staring in the opposite direction of me because she's being salty with me that I didn't give her the biggest freaking cuddles after she cut me.
That's. I mean, yeah. She. That seems kind of like her. So to get through my thing really quickly, I built up so much fatigue that I started, like feeling some joint pain after working out, doing a bunch of jiu-jitsu, and just never gonna get through the podcast today. And
I don't know what my problem is. I think it's just funny that you've been.
giggles.
I think it's just funny you've been trying to tell your story for so long and so much has happened. I'm sorry.
So much has happened. It's been like 10 minutes.
I'm the issue.
You might be part of the issue.
No, I am the whole issue.
Okay,
I'm so sorry.
You said it, not me. And I got to Thursday or Friday. Actually, Thursday and Friday, I think.
Why are you laughing?
I wasn't. Well, let me keep talking.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. And I wasn't on stream with Tay those days. And so I'm like, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to do my day job, get some good stuff done. I sit down in my old Grampy chair, and both days I pass out for 2 hours. Like, I just fall asleep because I've accumulated so much fatigue. I am thinking that I am just tired. And I worked out really hard on Thursday, and then I went to did jiu-jitsu in the morning on Friday. And so just PSA, everyone, a lot of people's problems are that they're not working out hard enough. But there are people that if you do too much, the PSA here is that it's not just you feeling tired, it's also wear and tear on your joints and stuff. So you gotta let that heal. If you don't take breaks, you just train less, reduce your volume by, whatever, 70% or whatever. You need to give your joints time to heal, because that is how I see people getting hurt in jiu-jitsu. This is my theory, at least. In jiu-jitsu and lifting, is they don't take adequate time to let their bodies recover. So eventually, you just get a lot of wear and tear on your joints, and they just break. And then that is, or you have a muscle tear, or whatever. And that is how I think a lot of people end up getting these injuries, because we have this culture of just keep working hard. And it's well, part of your discipline for working out has to be taking good breaks. It has to be. You have to be disciplined enough to stop working and take care of yourself, eat well, get good sleep, and then work out a little bit less to then make more progress in the future, because you can go and push yourself even harder the next time. But anyway, that's my PSA. And weekly problem. Great. Well, Taryn, I think you texted me a topic. You said podcast topic.
Oh, yeah, it's about animation.
Yes. Do you have a specific... Oh, bless you. Blessings be upon you. Holy water.
Thank you.
Ouch, demon. I am a minister. What was it? Minister.
The Ministry of Magic.
I'm listening to Harry Potter right now. Maybe I should have talked about that. Yes, so you wanted to talk about how the animation in old animated movies is better than...
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been watching... Oh, sorry.
Please.
What were you going to say? No.
This is your thing.
No. It's our thing. It was just
Okay.
a topic I thought of.
As a preface, I would say... I think that there's a lot of truth to this, but I have some caveats at the same time. So please.
Oh, we're
continue.
not talking about sushi. What does squid have to do with this?
No, not calamari. I know.
Wait,
I know.
never
that
mind.
You're just...
What's caviar?
Oh, caviar. You're right. Well,
Is that
that's not
squid?
sushi.
Maybe that's not squid.
No, that is sturgeon's eggs.
Ah, yes, boba.
No, not boba.
Yeah.
I know
So-
you know that it's not boba. You're just...
Yeah, so anyways, boba.
She pretends to not know things, but she's doing it just to troll people.
Yeah, it's whatever. Maybe
she's
I'm not
very
doing
smart.
it. Maybe I am. Yeah, because I knew what I was talking about when you were all like, "Oh, sturgeon eggs." I like animation from the olden days, but I have sturgeon eggs about it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, who is the smart one
Caveat.
here? Yep,
Well, sounds
that's
like
exactly
you.
what
It
we're
sounds
saying.
like
The
you,
same
you're
thing.
right.
We're literally saying the same thing.
Yeah. This is the thing, Taryn. Not knowing what things are is completely I think almost completely separate from actual intelligence. Like, that is just remembering facts. I think that's very separate, but that might be a topic for another podcast episode. So please continue.
Logan just called me dumb.
No, I'm calling you the opposite of dumb. I'm calling you smart. I'm trying to... I'm saying that it's different. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Knowing things does not mean not knowing. Sorry. Not knowing facts does not mean that you are a dumb person. Knowing facts only means that you remember facts.
Yeah, so all you people with all the facts memorized, you're dumb as fuck. Step up. I'm smarter than you.
Yeah. Let's we'll circle back. We'll circle back on this topic. Please continue with your animation. So you're saying that animation is way better before than it ever was. She's gone. Oh. She's back. Oh.
Okay, yes. I think animation sucks now. Like, it's too... I mean, sometimes it's nice to see, like, what was it called? The Wild Robot. Did you see that?
I did. On your recommendation. Yes.
Yes. That movie not only made me cry, but the animation in it I did think was beautiful. Mm-hmm. But, like, agreed. I like the simplicity of old Disney movies. And not even, like, super, super old. Like, even Princess and the Frog, my favorite Disney movie. Such good animation, but, like, I don't know. We started eventually, like, getting too advanced with it, and now it just looks funny to me. I like the, like, hand-drawn look. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And maybe Princess and the Frog doesn't completely have the hand-drawn look, but, like, it does in a sense. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's nostalgia or I just appreciate the art more.
I think that's exactly it. I think I'm pretty sure Princess and the Frog was like one of their last like done in the old sort of more the old style of like hand drawing.
I'm trying to think of Frozen and Princess and the Frog because I feel like Frozen is more 3D.
It absolutely is.
I'm gonna look it up. I don't know if Princess and the Frog is technically considered like flatter. I'm just gonna look at a picture really quick. Princess and the Frog.
You'd be right. So, I think I'm not like a huge movie buff, but as a fan of stories and that kind of thing, I do like really like movies and TV and that kind of thing. And I have been exposed to, because of my girlfriend, I've been exposed to a lot of animated kids movies. And yep, I think that's that's hard like 2D. Yeah.
Well, it has a little. It's advanced, but it's not like crazy advanced.
It's not like the new 3D computer animated everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I feel like has happened is that there's such a volume. I think two things. One, when we were in like the Disney days, we got, because it was like hand drawn and all that stuff, we got this really lovely mix of a really wealthy company making like AAA films or whatever they're called, hand drawn animation, because that's just what you did. The Lion King, other ones, the other Disney movies.
Other ones is crazy.
Wild Disney fan. But so we had real artists with a big budget and people who were really good at writing stories all together making movies. And now we have this thing where those big studios are making like a lot of 3D movies. And I want to put a note there to come back to talk about the stories on these. And we have smaller studios making really beautiful, going back to doing the like beautiful hand-drawn stuff. But we don't have this like high level, very high budget story and beautiful art combined. We just have this like beautiful art, sort of indie projects, and then like 3D big company, not that those can't be beautiful, but I think like back in the day, that's part of why those movies, you look back and you're like, this is just really beautiful. They sort of had to be more artistic because they didn't have the option to do all this. And then I think another big thing is the especially with kids movies. I've watched a lot because my girlfriend has a kid, and they have definitely deviated away from having like a really engaging story to having a story that is really fun for kids. So I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, but a lot of them are more juvenile. They're more actiony. They're less about like there's maybe a lesson weaved in there somewhere, but it's not about the like beauty of the animation or anything. It's about like how can we be bright and shiny and fun to get kids' eyeballs on our movie. So there are plenty that do, have like good messages and stuff, but none of them, I would say very few are like objectively just very beautiful because they really don't care at all. They don't have to because they don't have to do like hand-drawn animation, but they also don't necessarily care about making it super appealing to adults because like the old Disney movies, it was like, okay, you can go to the theater. Maybe that's part of why, because we don't have the whole theater system so much anymore. But you can go to a theater with your kids. You're going to enjoy the movie. They're going to enjoy the movie. Now, you're putting on something at home to entertain your child. And that's not bad. A lot of those are perfectly fine and good for children, I'm sure. Although I would say some of them aren't, but that's more personal preference. The reason that they exist is different. They want streaming eyeballs from kids to watch it over and over and over again. And I can say that my girlfriend's child watches the movies, which I don't think are great movies, but are like for kids over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So like they really are like I imagine kids movies are probably some of the best. They make so many of them. They're probably pretty big money makers for like the streaming services because kids are just going to sit there and rewatch those so many times that the adults aren't going to cancel their streaming because nobody's using it. The kids are using it all the frickin' time. So anyway, I think it's sad because even stuff that wasn't like hand-drawn, like Finding Nemo, really had like deep emotional messages that we don't see so much in these new movies.
I'm confused.
So, yeah.
I don't think I don't know. You're saying like these movies they're doing better because you like kids can just watch them over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. Did you not watch your animated movies over and over and over again? Like the good ones? Because I did.
I mean like through a streaming service. Like when you watch a DVD of something...
Yeah, but like Disney Plus exists and it's got all the old animated stuff, No,
that's true. That's true. I guess kids do. I mean, like...
I'm an adult and I'm still... I'm literally right now actually in the midst of rewatching Disney princess movies.
I mean, like, true. But I don't know how much kids watch the old ones over and over again. They like... I feel like maybe I'm wrong. Matthew can probably... We gotta have Matthew on because he'll probably totally point out where I'm wrong here. But, like, the cheaply produced, like 3D animation movies that that are cheaper to make and get the same eyeballs
retention
rate as the really good old movies that took way more money and way more time.
Okay, yeah, this makes more sense. Yeah,
sorry, that's an important.
So they're getting the same retention rate. So it's like, yeah, why would I spend a bunch more money to like make something better if this is going to do the same as all the other good stuff? That's okay. Yeah, that's understandable.
Produce. And like
that is sad. I feel like your parents teach you a lot about morals. They obviously rate your first set of morals. They come from your parents, but as a kid, like you take in all of your surroundings at all times. So like the things that you watch, they have such a huge impact on like your brain developing or your brain development, how you're going to think about things. Like I am so obsessed with love and, romance because I grew up, like, watching, the Disney princes fall in love with the Disney princesses. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I love so much because I saw it so beautifully as a child. Mm-hmm. And you're right. Like, those movies, they have really good messages behind them. Like, I learned a lot of kindness from my family, obviously, but I also learned a lot of kindness from the things that I would watch.
Absolutely. Yep. This is a topic I've been thinking about because, in regards to books, because I think the part of why I love writing so much is that what books and stories in general, which include movies and TV and stuff, have done for me is they help you, like, I think that's absolutely true. I totally agree. Excellent point. They, like, ingrain it in your brain in this way that just being taught doesn't. And it's not necessarily better, but it is different, and you get this, like, when you look inside of yourself for these, like, what is my deep feeling about something? I feel like a lot of that comes from stories, you know, like, or you can alter that and update that or, like, refine that, feel those, like, deeply, like, okay, it helps you understand something on a really, like, intuitive level through a story, even in a way that you'll continue to unpack. You know, like, there are books where I'm like, man, this book, like, I feel like made a big impact on me, but, like, and I can see sort of why, but then, like, I'll read it again years later and be like, oh, that really, like, I see how that informed my perspective in a way that was just, because, like, stories are just instinctual in some way. And I think it's really, really, really important. And you hear some teachers, I'm not sure if this is across the board, but I think there is some data on this. You hear some teachers say, like, okay, every generation progressively gets smarter than the last, except we've run into this generation of kids are not performing as well on those. And that might be what every generation says about the new generation. But, like,
I don't know.
Just from data.
This would make sense. Yeah, the things being pushed out on media, they don't have a lot of substance. And kids are growing up with technology instead of, like, using their imagination to create, like, little, you know, stories and games when they play with Barbies. They're just all chronically online. And no one, just bleh.
I totally agree. And I'll say that from this, like, survey of kids' movies that I've gotten, which is definitely, like, you know, I'm getting it through the taste of, you know, like, I'm just getting, like
a kid.
A kid, yeah, but, like, I'm getting a subsection of movies. I'm not seeing all of the kids' movies that come out. That the messages in these, like, a lot of the shows especially don't have anything really deep to them. They are just, like, there's this whole very sort of, it feels like, I'm sorry to the people who made this, but, like maybe not the highest quality animation or storytelling for the, like, My Little Pony. There's, like, new TV series that come out, and it's all about pretty ponies and magic, and, like, one, like, the most substance I've seen is, like, someone, like, wanted to not treat the other, you know, the Pegasus versus the My Little Ponies. Like, there's, like, this whole, like, subtext of, like, don't be racist, be nice to people. But it's not at the same level of, like, it's more about the spectacle. It's more about the fun songs. It's more about the bright, pretty ponies and then selling them the, you know, the merchandise on the other side, than it is about telling a meaningful story. And I feel like while that it's like, you know, it's like the potato chips of TV. Like, instead of kids getting, like, wholesome dinners through really good movies and TV shows that are, like, meaningful and tell stories that help shape you as a person, they're getting a lot of potato chips. Potato chips are tasty, they're entertaining, but they're not going to give you nutrition, that, like, mental nutrition, that I think we got more. And part of that is that it's so much easier to make things and put them out now. You don't have to be a part of a huge, you know, maybe in some ways it is, some ways it isn't, but, like, if you want to put out kids stuff on YouTube, there's a huge audience on YouTube for kids stuff, which is its own rabbit hole because some weird stuff gets in there. But
you should.
Yeah?
Sorry, you can finish your thought.
No, that was basically it.
If Your girlfriend's daughter has not seen The Princess and the Frog. You should absolutely show it to her. I think The Princess and the Frog is one of the best movies ever made. Like, the message, there's so many messages in there.
I gotta rewatch that one.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, it teaches you about bigotry, like not to be racist, not to, do stuff like that. But it also teaches, like, because, a lot of the Disney princess movies, which I am fine with that, they just, like, teach you about the, prince and princess falling in love. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, those movies suck because it looks like the princess needs the man to be happy and all that, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But The Princess and the Frog, it shows, so Tiana doesn't want anything to do with a man. She's like, I have my own dream. I want to be my own woman. I want to open my restaurant. Like, and nothing's going to stand in my way. I'm not going to, like, I'm going to work really hard, which, that's such a good message. She works so hard. I mean, there is an underlying message of, like, don't push yourself too hard, but we'll get to that. But yeah, she, like, won't go hang out with friends because she's picking up extra shifts. Like, she constantly says, like, I can't get my dream if I don't work for it. Beautiful message, because a lot of kids now, it's like, oh, I don't have to work hard to get what I want. Like, with all the gentle parenting going on, it's like I just need to demand it and I get it. But like, yeah, Princess and the Frog teaches you racism bad, great lesson, amazing lesson. Work hard for what you want, but at the very end, she realizes that she does want love. Like, she can have both. It's not like she has to be a strong, independent woman without it. Like, they can coincide, which I think is such a beautiful, beautiful message. And she also, like, realizes in the end that, like, she needs to work hard. But like I said, that can coincide. You can make time for love. You can make time for other people. They just don't... I know there are other movies out there that, like, have great messages like this, but, like, when I saw that as a kid, it just spoke so heavily to me because I've always valued love and I've always wanted to be a wife. But, like, this movie showed me that you can do both. You can want to be a wife, but you can also want your own things. And you can want to work really hard for the things that you want in life, which my parents taught me that. But, seeing someone who goes and becomes a princess later on, like, watching that happen, oh my gosh, it makes me so happy. I just love that movie so much.
Yeah, those are great messages. I gotta watch that movie again, but I totally agree with that. And hot take, like, those things can coexist. And
oh, absolutely. Tiana shows it. That's how I know it exists.
And it feels like a good story feels real because you feel that it can be possible because it makes sense, like, just like on a logical level, you're like, it's partly a good story because it feels accessible, and the fact that it's not just something crazy that could never happen. There's magic and whatever, but like the core humanity of it is like, oh yeah, this speaks to something that feels true to me.
Well, and Prince Naveen, like, he also, I don't know how many men have been shaped by him, but, he was a little bit of a playboy. He didn't want to settle down. He was like, I have all of these women who, like, want me. Like, why have one when I can see them all? But, like, it just took meeting, like, the right woman, someone who was responsible. Like, she did not put up with his crap. She was like, when she's, like, gonna cook them food when they're frogs, he sits back and was like, yeah, like, you go do that. And she's like, yeah, no, you're gonna help me.
Yeah.
And she just teaches him, like, how to be a normal, functioning human that can do things for himself. Because, he was a prince. He had, like, servants do everything for him, so he didn't ever have to learn how to do that. But he becomes, like, humbled. Like, a woman's love and a woman's nurturing humbles him.
But I think this is an important thing, too. It's that, but it's also that she has healthy boundaries and expectations. So, like, she doesn't just let him,
walk all over
her, but in a way that's fair. Like,
Yeah.
get up and help. We're making food. Let's make it together. And it's not it's not like, like they're still happy together. It's not like anti men or anything, but it's like, let's be partners. Let's do this together. We're in this together. I think that's a great message. I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, it's so good. They just both teach each other love, like what loving is. Neither of them wanted a relationship, and it just took meeting the right person.
Yeah.
Like, he teaches her to let loose.
Yeah.
It was such a perfect, like, literally such a perfect pairing. He teaches her to let loose, live a little, experience life, because, again, she was working all the time. She was so tense. And she teaches him to be humble, that he can do things that normal people can do if he just tries. Normal people as in, like, not royalty.
Yeah.
And then, they both teach each other love. And
yeah. Something that you said earlier, which is related to a video that... Did I talk about this last week? I'm not sure if I did. The, like, permissive versus authoritarian versus authoritative. Okay.
No?
So I watched this video on parenting, and it was actually a video about something else, I think, but she's like a doctor of psychology or something. And something that I found really interesting was that, like you said, you mentioned, like, that a lot of young men just like, oh, serve me. And kids in general, I just get this stuff plopped in my lap because that's what I deserve. Like, that can become a pathology, in my mind, in adulthood, where you meet people whose parents never told them no. Like, they were like, oh, well, this is your job, everybody's job. Because, like, my feelings about it make me right about what you should be doing, other person. And there's this interesting, in the video, she made a distinction between authoritarian parenting, authoritative parenting, and overly permissive or permissive parenting. So the sweet spot is authoritative. So to explain that, it's licking my hand. If you want a view of my cat,
Puss.
No.
My
feline.
puss.
Feline. He's on screen. Now he's not. Authoritarian parenting is like, you will go to bed right now, or I will punish you, or you will brush your teeth, you will eat these vegetables, or I will punish you immediately, or something, something like that. Like, it's not that there are rules, and if you disobey the rules, there's a reasonable consequence. It is, if you don't do this one thing, there is an extreme consequence, and I control everything that you do because I know best. And then there is overly permissive or permissive, which is like, do whatever you want, and I will, when you need something, I will cater to you, I will enable you, like, and they both, it's funny because both kids of both those systems often come out, screwed up in similar ways. But authoritative parenting is just like, there are reasonable rules and expectations which are consistently held to, and you are allowed to make age-appropriate mistakes that have negative consequences. So, like, example, let's say you're 12 years old and you don't want to bring a jacket to school. Okay, don't bring a jacket to school. And then the kid's cold that day. They're fine. They're 12 years old. They're not going to die. They're not going to be, like, extremely emotionally distressed. But, like, I asked you to bring a jacket. You said no. Now you have to go through the very reasonable conclusion, which is there's a consequence of being cold. Or, let's say there is a rule, you're a little bit younger, like you're 8 or whatever, like, you have to take a shower tonight. Like, that will be enforced because that is the rule. And at this age, you can't, any age really, but you can't just not take a shower or whatever. So it's like reasonable rules, reasonable expectations. You are allowed to make age-appropriate mistakes, and you're not going to be controlled beyond what is reasonable exception for, safety and, you have to eat food and drink water, whatever. So I think we have these, like, especially, like, I would say, like, a prince or whatever, the parents are just like, do whatever you want. We're, like, fucking super wealthy, whatever. So you get these people who are like, oh, yes, everyone is around me to serve my needs. And I think there's this really beautiful, healthy, constructive, authoritative parenting style, which in movies we see kind of both extremes a lot as like a vehicle for story and stuff. But I think there is definitely we've gone from authoritarian, like my parents and the baby boomer generation were raised by extremely authoritarian, greatest generation, World War II veteran, like people who were like, no, I know what's best. You will do it. Do not speak until you're spoken to. Those types of people. But this generation, like millennials, like millennial parents themselves are very permissive because they don't want to, they lived through an authoritarian, like baby boomer childhood, and they don't want their kids to ever feel like overly controlled or like they can't be free and have freedom of expression and thought. But now we're swinging to the other extreme, which is the overly permissive parenting has its own consequences, which we are seeing in the like health and psychological health of children these days, after having been exposed to children of this generation myself. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. What do you think?
So besides the can't be spoken unless spoken to, I think if I have a kid, I would be an authoritarian parent.
Well,
I'm too, like, you were telling the story about the kid not going to school with the jacket. I would not let that happen because I'm sitting here thinking if my kid gets a cold, that's on me. Like, sure, they fought me on bringing a jacket, but at the end of the day, I'm the parent. Bring your fucking jacket.
No, I agree with that. I mean, like, as in terms of, like, scaling with age, like, if your 16-year-old, maybe 16 would have been a better example. If your 16-year-old says, I'm not bringing my jacket today, you're kind of like, be cold for a day.
Yeah, I think if it, yeah, a teenager, like, in high school, yeah, at that point, like, I know you're supposed to loosen the reins in general, but I think until my kid reaches high school, there's no reins being loosened. Like, it'll. I've already thought so much about this. It's going to be like, you're doing your homework. I'm going to hover over you. I'm going to make sure you do it. But then once you get into high school, which maybe that transition won't go off very well because I'll go from being over their shoulder, being like, you need to finish this, to, okay, you're older now. I want you to know that you can make choices. But like when it comes to if your grades start to slip, I'm not over here telling you to do your homework. I'll remind you when you get home. I'll ask you if you have homework. And if you tell me no, you tell me no. But if your grades start to slip...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
What do you mean?
I think what you're saying, I think I completely agree with you. Sorry, please continue. I completely agree with you, and I think that fits in to just the regular, like, authoritative parenting. Because, like, if you're saying, okay, your kid is in high school, you force them to get A's. They have to get A's, and they have to do AP classes, and they have to learn the violin. That's authoritarian. Having these reasonable expectations for, like, I'm going to remind you to do your homework, and then if their grades start slipping, you're going to be harder on them. I think that fits, and at least in my mind, this is the way that I would want to parent as well. Should be like, now we're going to start kicking in some more consequences because, this is starting to potentially negatively affect your future, whatever. But I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Please continue.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah, if my, like, put a lot of thought into this, and I think it would work really well. I won't yell at my kid once they're in high school about, like, their grades slipping, but I'll let them know in advance, like, beforehand, if your grades slip, like, you're under a B, phone privileges are being, like, you'll lose your phone earlier in the day. Like, once you get home, maybe you'll have, like, a little bit with it, but I'll take it around 7, I'll take it around 8. Friend privileges, you're not going to be able to go and hang out after school because Obviously, I can't trust you to just get your homework done if you have other things going on. But I won't yell at them. I won't be like, what the fuck are you doing? You're ruining your future. It'll just be like the things that are important to them right now, because I think the argument of like, you're ruining your future, it doesn't resonate. Resonate?
Resonate.
It doesn't.
You got it.
Yeah, it doesn't resonate with teenagers because you're already in that moody stage of being all like, I don't care about anything, blah, blah, blah. But like the future seems so far. And that's coming from personal experience. Like I'm still I'm far from my teen years, but I'm also so close at the same time that like I do remember like when I would get that, which I don't disagree with my parents at all, because I think they did a good job raising me. But you know, when I would get your future, like this is going to help you in the future, I didn't care. Because I was like, I don't know what the future's like. It's so far away from now. Future me can deal with it. I just think that it's so hard to use that argument with a teenager. And so just like taking the things that are important to them right then and there, like in their moment of time, those important things, but like not being super mean about it, just being like, okay, well, you've lost some friend privileges, but if you can get that grade back up, like you can do that. Or making them go to bed earlier, stuff like that.
That is so reasonable, and I think I agree with that. And I think the authoritarian parent would yell at their kid. They would be screaming at their kid to get it together, you're not getting an A. And, like, reasonable consequences that it's not always, like, I think something I should have made clear, too, is it's not always reasonable consequences of the world, like forgetting your jacket is just getting cold, but reasonable consequences that you as a parent set up to happen. So, okay, like the first week that you're like letting things slip, not doing your homework, all right, whatever, you lose this. Week 2, still not happening, okay, you're losing this. Like that is mimicking what life is like. Like as a kid, you're in this bubble where consequences and actions are mitigated by your parents, but also they're controlled by your parents in a way too, because you can't really expose yourself to true risk. So what's the way to acclimatize a person to such things? It'd be like to recreate that in your parenting style. So if you don't go to your job, your phone gets turned off, right? You can't pay your bills, so you don't have your phone anymore. You don't have money to go out. Eventually you lose your job, you lose your house. It's just mimicking what life is like so that they can become acclimatized to it. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of millennial parents are way too permissive, way too permissive, because they want their kids to be happy. And I think there's this huge distinction, and I'll wrap up because I know we're running out of time here, but I totally agree, completely agree with your approach. They want their kids to be happy, so they didn't feel like they were happy as kids. Happiness is great. My experience with every people in general, and I use dog training as an example because I think there's a lot of maybe overly simplistic, but definitely parallels where it's like dogs are happiest knowing what the rules are and having a structure. And I think that applies to people as well. People are happier knowing what the rules are and having a structure generally. And I think you get happier kids by having a more firm structure. And you have more well-adjusted adults by having kids that are sensitive to actions equal consequences. And the problem is that it feels like some parents have consequences, but they're, I would say that in some way my childhood was like this too. No knock on it. I was very happy, had a great childhood. But not all actions always have consequence, and I think my parents did a good job with this. So not like our most faithful listener, Mom. Anyway, we'll talk about it later. But it definitely my observation too of kids these days, just in general, having interacted with a bunch in recent years. It's like, oh, okay, well, today's this special day, so do whatever you want. You can be kind of a jerk this person today or whatever. You meet kids and you're like, man, I would never be able to talk to an adult like that, no matter what was going on when I was a kid. And, like, I was afraid of talking to adults like that, like, because I knew that it was bad. Anyway, that's it. But I completely agree, and I think some people might think that sounds strict, but it's not. Like you said, it's not yelling. It's not strict enforcement of, overly
Well, if people think that
rules.
what we just talked about is strict, they're a part of the problem.
I agree.
And I ask before you have kids that you reevaluate that feeling.
I totally agree.
Because you're going to produce monsters. The moral of the story is, if you have to walk around eggshells, or if you have to walk on eggshells around your kid, there is a huge issue. Your kid should never have that much authority. And it's not going to make them better, happier people. It's going to make them assholes. They're a part of the asshole issue.
Yeah. There's this.
Yeah, you're not your friend. You're not your kid's friend.
No.
You're their parent.
Agreed. 100% agreed. There's parents out there that are like, oh, my kid, I just want them to be my best buddy. And it's like, no, you're
And they
their
can
parent.
be to an extent, but you're their parent at the end of the day. Don't walk on eggshells around them.
Yeah, and it's a sacred and wonderful and very close. You can be very emotionally close, but you are the parent, not a best buddy. I think there's a conflation between, if my kid is happy, they will be a good person, because those people were missing. They're like, if I were a happier kid, I would have been a happier adult and then thus treated people better. And it's like, no, like the prince, like the princelings of olden days, like often it was the...
No, just Princess and the Frog. Just use Princess and the Frog
Yeah,
as an
Princess and the
example.
Frog.
He was not a nice person. He was
probably
fun.
very happy. Yeah,
He was happy and he was fun. But he was not a nice person.
No, and there's a difference between being nice and being kind. And kind takes effort, takes intentionality, and it takes discipline to achieve. And you will not learn those things if you are just running around having the best time playing all the time, not having any rules.
And that's literally what he did. He was playing all the time, having fun. He literally treated his, like, secondhand man, like the person that follows him around and helps him go places and stuff. He treated him like crap. And it ended up, like, this guy, obviously, Prince Naveen can't be completely blamed for him becoming a villain. But he does become a villain because of all the mistreatment. And it's like, that's another great lesson is, if you mistreat someone just all the time, over and over, it's gonna break them. Mm-hmm. And again, you can't be 100% blamed for that, because like it's an active choice to betray someone, become a bad person. But your actions do sway how people are going to look at themselves, look at the world. Like, even if you don't think so, it absolutely does.
Absolutely.
So,
and I think there's it's a really interesting thing that I've struggled a lot with trying to understand, but the way that I've been able to synthesize it is like people's actions, and this is like I'll table this more for another
I was gonna say we're at a minute or an hour and 8.
Yeah. Just because you can explain why someone did something doesn't make the choice that they made to do it okay. And there's I think more to unpack there, but like so understanding and empathy, but also not letting that bleed into everything is permissible, because we can empathize with why someone did something. So, all right. Well, we didn't even get to the salty confessions, but I think that was a really lovely conversation. And
yes, very, very informational.
Very informational. Very serious.
Chat, tell us if you like these informational conversations.
Yeah.
And if you don't, back off.
No,
I actually do want to know your opinions on this one.
Yes.
And obviously tell me that Princess and the Frog is the best movie to ever be made. It has so many good messages. I just can't. I didn't even get through all of them.
Just between you and me, guys. Just when Terrence's not listening, just between you and me. You don't have to validate everything she thinks.
Absolutely you do.
Hold on. I'm talking to the audience. You don't have to validate everything she thinks. You can disagree with her. So she says that, but like, tell her that your favorite movie is The Lion King, or like Finding Nemo or something. Okay, Taryn. Hey, I'm done talking to the audience. Welcome back.
I love teaching people to lie. Great
Well, you are
parenting.
teaching
Jeez
them to lie.
Louise.
You're telling them they have to like your favorite movie.
No, I'm not teaching them to lie. I'm scaring them into just agreeing with me.
Okay. Yeah.
Big
I
difference.
See. Yeah. Total big difference.
All right, gang.
This has been fun. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Enjoy. Hope you enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.